Hey Avish, how's it?
Hey Sid, how you doing, buddy?
I'm okay. I was surprised when you had said you were gonna do the live chat because I know you were quite devastated by South Africa's defeat in the semi-finals.
Yeah, but look, I got over it, man. I mean, look, uh, T20 is a fickle game. Let's be honest. I
Mm,
mean,
that is
it takes
true.
one innings. It takes one innings to just win the game for you, and that's exactly what happened. I mean, credit to New Zealand, they won the toss and they put SA into bat, and I think SA, if they had won the toss, they probably would have bowled first as well.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
the toss played a big role there as well, and.
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, SA played so many games in Ahmedabad this World Cup, but they ended up at a Calcutta pitch was holding up a bit. The ball wasn't quite coming on.
Hmm.
New Zealand, obviously, they came with their plans, bowling the off spinner in the second
Mm-hmm.
over against de Kock and got him out, and then Rickleton followed thereafter. And yeah, it was an uphill task after that, eh? It seems like SA didn't really adapt to the pitch in Kolkata, and batting, as you saw, got a lot easier in that second innings. I mean, that was a worldie from Phil Angle. That was probably his best, the best. It was it was an innings of a lifetime from Phil Allen. Let's be honest. I mean,
Yeah,
the way he hit
133
the
balls.
ball was
Mm.
absolutely brutal, and yeah, I see had no answers. Eh?
Mm.
This was it was a proper it was a proper hiding, whatever you want to call it. I mean, I know
That's true.
Shuki called it a snot clap, getting moved. I mean, it was a proper clapping. It was a proper clapping. I mean, SA were nowhere in the game. Let's be honest. And yeah, it's time to move on. I still think they had a great tournament. I mean,
Yeah,
Coach
yeah.
Shukri, he's just about 6 months in the job. I think he's brought this team quite far. I mean, considering he
Mm.
hasn't been that long in the job in the T20 setup, I think he's done a perfect. He's done a brilliant job so far with this team, and I still think Shukri is the man for the Proteas going forward. I fully believe that.
Yeah, yeah. I wouldn't crucify him because I always said like once New Zealand make these types of rounds, they are one of those irritating types of opponents, and well, it proved true. I guess what's kind of bizarre about T20, this whole tournament, is that New Zealand can make it through the semifinals because of net run rate, and then well, fine, we played great cricket to make it to the semifinals, and then obviously these things happen.
Yeah, look, I mean, winning the toss was crucial. Let's be honest. At Kolkata,
Yeah.
it was
Mm.
crucial. I mean, we saw what happened um, in that India and West Indies game as well, where India were chasing.
Hmm.
And if you looked at it, the pitch got a lot better in that second innings. But however, I would say this game here as well. I think even after the fourth over of the second innings, the pitch really played well.
Mm.
And as I just said, SA had no answers. SA had no
Hmm.
answers. And again, this is why I say T20 cricket is so fickle. It's because a team like New Zealand that probably didn't play the best cricket in the Super 8s. They obviously had a free hit in this
Semi-final,
in the
yeah. Played with
semi-final, and they went for it. Eh? They went for it.
yeah,
Winning the toss was crucial.
yeah.
And yeah, I mean, I go back to the nature of T20 cricket, how fickle it is,
Hmm.
in the sense that it just takes one innings, and there's no way back for the bowlers. There just is no way back for the bowlers thereafter. If somebody hits 100, probably game over. Let's be honest. But it's not that case in other formats like ODI and
Yeah.
Test match cricket.
All
So
right.
look, I think the Proteas are moving in the right direction. I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
WTC Championship last season, last year. I mean, I think they got a decent shot of making it again to the final. I mean, you got a 40 over World Cup coming up in 2027. They're playing great cricket in this World Cup. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
We can't take away the performances of what SA did in this World Cup, and
Oh,
that's a frustrating thing when I look at some people. They talk about SA not getting over the line this game, but that is the nature of T20 cricket. Unfortunately,
yeah.
it just takes one innings, and you're You're out of the tournament. Look,
Yeah.
everybody has a bad game in this
Yeah.
tournament. We've seen it. It's so unfortunate that SA are in the semi-final, but
Mm.
I think you just have to move on from this now.
Yeah. Okay. All right. We'll get to India and England, which was not a one-sided game. Although if you look at this margin of 7 runs, it seems flattering. I tell you why. Because 30 runs were required of the final over. Had they put a proper bowler, realistically, it would have been a margin by 20 runs. So, what do you think of that margin of 7 runs, though, by India?
First of all, I thought it was a beautiful pitch to bat on. I mean, that was an absolute belter. We saw it with India, the way Sanju batted. But England didn't do themselves any favors. Eh? I thought the fielding wasn't up to
Yeah.
scratch in this game. I mean, look at that drop
Harry Brook, yeah.
by Brooks at Madon. I mean, you would bank on him to take that 9 out of 10 down. So that was an absolute howler from Brooks, and
Mm.
that ultimately cost England this game here because I mean Samson really made them pay with
Definitely.
an 80, with a whirlwind 80,
Hmm.
and yeah, I mean 254. I
Hmm.
thought India probably had enough of this pitch, but then
Yeah.
wow, that was some innings from Jacob Dettel. I thought he was absolutely brilliant. The way he took it so deep,
Hmm.
and the only difference in this game was probably Bumrah's overs. Sid. I mean, there he is. I mean, Bumrah comes up with the trumps time and time again. I mean, he's an absolute magician in this format. I would say every format, but I mean, 4 overs for 33 runs in a
Yeah.
game where everybody was going for double figures in
Yeah.
terms of economy. That was absolutely brilliant. So I thought that third and fourth over that he bowled was absolutely brilliant, and that kind of swung the game in India's favor. And I agree with you. I think it was flattering because I mean, you did if you do recall, Jofra Archer hits 3 sixes in that final over. That made it look flattering. So I mean, Archer sixes probably brought a bit of flattering to the scoreline. But I thought India probably going to that final over, they were comfortable. I mean, 30 to win. I mean, you've got to have an over of your lifetime to actually win that game. So on the balance of it, I thought India outbatted it. That's why they won
Yeah.
this game. India just outbatted India. Mm.
Yeah. You know what
It
would
was
have been
way too many.
bizarre? Yeah. But imagine if 30 runs had been hit. Oof. That would have been humiliating for the crowd to watch. And imagine all the players' windows would have been pelted with bricks, with stones and all that. You know how it is.
Yeah, I mean, being an Indian cricketer, it comes with pressure, eh? And it comes with a different type of pressure that any other national team would face. I mean, there's public scrutiny, there's media scrutiny. So I think India, they probably, I mean, they looked a lot better in the field in that game, eh? I mean, there were some
Mm.
brilliant catches, especially the one from
But
Aksa at the
yeah,
boundary. I mean, that was special. So look, to me, this game today, I mean, India are sure favorites, but I mean, after what I saw in the semi-final with Finn Allen and Tim Seifert,
yeah,
I wouldn't want to underestimate this New Zealand side. Eh?
yeah, and I wouldn't too. In fact, there's an interesting fact, a stat that says that India has not beaten New Zealand in the T20 World Cup. I need to double check that if that's correct. Uh, okay, because I
I
remember
think that's
the last.
probably true. Eh?
Yeah, let's refer to ChatGPT. Trusted AI. Has India beaten New Zealand in T20? I remember the last, because I remember New Zealand beat India in the T20 World Cup in Dubai.
Yeah, I do recall that. I think most of those wins are probably in the group stages. So this is the first time that they're going to face in the knockout. So that
Yeah,
will be
yeah,
that would add a little bit more spice to it. But
yeah. Okay.
I think on the balance of play. I mean, India are obviously playing at the Modi Stadium today, and they've got some
Okay.
unfinished business at the Modi Stadium, so they'll be determined to win this game. But New Zealand are a sneaky old team. I mean, they're very tactical. They when it comes to these kind of games, technically they are quite astute. So I
Yeah.
wouldn't want to write them off. But
Uh-huh.
I'll say it again. We've seen New Zealand at this stage in tournaments, and we know what happens. So I think if you have to give India, you have to give India a choice of teams in the final. I think
Hmm.
they probably grab New Zealand
Of course, of
10
course.
times out of 10, man, compared to playing any other team. So let's see what
Yeah.
happens, eh? I wouldn't want to
Yeah.
underestimate the Kiwis. I think India are
Yep.
favorites, as I said. But, I mean, for cricket, New Zealand
Hmm.
winning, wouldn't that be a great story?
It would be interesting. I'll tell you why. Look at this. They played three times. One was in Joburg 2007. New Zealand won by 10 runs. That was in 2007. And there's 2016 Nagpur, which was an interesting pitch, to be polite. And New Zealand won by 47 runs. And then in 2021 Dubai, New Zealand won by 8 wickets. So two of those wins have been quite dominating. The first one was close. And what else is the, nothing else is there. So Phew. It's either one's game, buddy. I will not write off New Zealand. In fact, I would not say India will win, but it'll be really close, which I guess is good for the crowd.
I, yeah, I mean, if you look at the first one in 2007, that was the early days of T20
Mm-hmm.
cricket. I think teams were still trying to figure out how to play T20 cricket. And then the 2016 one, as I said, was quite an interesting pitch. And 2021, I think India didn't play their best cricket in that tournament. There was a lot of fatigue and stuff because they were coming straight off the IPL. I thought the scheduling for that World Cup wasn't the best, but it is what it is. I mean, all those games came up in the group stages, as I alluded to earlier. So, I mean, this gave me as a final. India
Mm-hmm.
would be determined to win this, but I'm just looking at it from a cricket point of view, Sid. If New Zealand were to win this, I mean, what a story it would be.
The only reason why I do expect, the only reason why I think New Zealand could win it is because they have been a bogeying team for India, and I know this is going to sound a bit insulting towards India, but if there's any team I could see New Zealand beating in a World Cup final, it could be India. Because I could have seen them beating Australia. They've got a mental block. Against, I guess it could beat South Africa maybe, if South Africa do stupid things. But I think South Africa would have more belief in the head to beat New Zealand in a final than a semi-final. Although I'm thinking of that Zimbabwean tournament, I don't know if you could look at that as a reference point for a final. I don't think they even had the best players in that tournament, if you remember. So don't even think you can look at that as
I
a
honestly wouldn't read too much into that because I don't
yeah.
think India
Yeah.
were a powerhouse of a team compared to what they are now.
No. I'm referring to SA that played the triangle in the Zimbabwe, and I think New Zealand were part of the triangular series. I don't think SA had the best side in that tournament, although they came very close
Oh,
against.
yes, 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 yes. Oh, no, no, no,
I don't think.
for sure. Definitely, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And and
So I'm trying.
and look, a team like New Zealand. I mean, New Zealand. The thing is with New Zealand, they need a lot of things to go their way. So they
Hmm,
need the toss to go their way. They need to have
that's
a
true.
good start. They need to take early wickets. If those things don't go their way, it's very hard for them
Mhm.
to win again. So that's why I would say. But again, I don't think the toss would be such a crucial thing
I don't think so
as
now.
it was in
Okay.
Kolkata in Ahmedabad. I don't think the toss would play that much at all because I don't think you've seen much dew in Ahmedabad compared to Kolkata, where the dew has been absolutely insane. So I, I honestly think New Zealand will have to play the game of their life to win this game. They would have to
I
play the game of their lives to win this.
I think the best chance is to
Everything has got
chase.
to go their way because I mean,
Hmm.
in spite of trying to restrict India's batting lineup, they've got to negotiate Bumrah as well, which is so difficult for the best of
Hmm.
teams. So how do they negotiate Bumrah's 4 overs? That's going to be the interesting thing as well. So everything
That's
is it's heavily stacked against them, but again, everything was heavily stacked against them in the semi-final. Excuse me. They found a way, but I don't know if lightning strikes twice. Eh?
it could, but I would hope that India do win it because it'd be good for the home crowd. But I'll look at their squads here quickly. Let's look at their squads quickly. We'll start with India. Surya Kumar Yadav, Akshar Patel, Abhishek Sharma, Arshdeep Singh, Jasprit Bumrah, Shivam Dube, Kishan, Kuldeep Yadav, Mohammad Siraj, Hardik Pandya, Samson, Rinku, Tilak Varma, Varun Chakrabarti, and Washington Sundar. Okay, obviously they're going to have to pick 10 out of the 15. And then, what's your thought of that on that squad so far?
I mean, that's a juggernaut of a team. So, I mean, that team. I
Yeah.
mean, there's a lot of teams would envy having that team. I mean,
Okay.
especially they would envy having Bumrah.
Mhm.
Any team would love having Bumrah on their team because I mean he's such a game changer. So to me, I mean, if I look at both teams, I mean, it is
Mhm.
no offense to New Zealand, sir, but it seems like no contest.
Wow, that's pretty brutal. But let's look at the New Zealand
Mm.
squad. Wagner, Finn Allen, Mark Chapman, De Devon Conway, Jacob Duffy, Lockie Ferguson, Matt Henry, Kyle Jamieson, Cole McConkey, Daryl Mitchell, James Neesham, Phillips, Roshan Ravindra, Tim Seifert, and Sodhi. I haven't seen much of James Neesham, or unless I've not been following New Zealand much in this T20 World Cup.
Yeah, I think Jimmy Neesham is probably a bit of a liability in this team, to be honest with you. Because I mean, if you
Okay.
saw the SA game as well, I mean, he was one of those bowlers that was really expensive. I mean, if you look at the New Zealand side, it's interesting. I mean, one thing about them, they don't have those superstar players that
Mm.
those generational kind of players that probably India have and some other teams in this tournament. But what they do have is a team that can really scrap in a knockout game. So that's why you as a team you can't take them lightly because for some reason
Yeah.
they're just going to be scrapping as a team. So they come together as a team quite well. They try and do the basics quite well on the day. Although I thought the catching let them down against SA and they still ended up winning the game. They did miss some really easy catches. I think if they feed like that today, I don't think India is going to let them off the hook. I think they're going to be
Yeah.
paying dearly for those. So you're going to grab whatever catches you get today because I don't think India are going to let you off the hook like that in this final. So, as I said, they,
Mhm.
they need a lot of things to go their way today. So they got to win the toss.
Mhm.
Although I don't think the toss will be that crucial in this game, but they've got to be fielding well. They've got to take the catches. I think the only way they can win this game is probably get India three down in the power play. That's their best chance. Is to get the top order. And I mean, look, India's middle order, top order has been a bit shaky. I mean, the likes of Abhishek,
Mm.
he's had a very, I'd say, uninspiring tournament. But I mean, as bad as Abhishek has played, India has still found a way to get to the final, which is obviously quite a testament to them. So, I don't think Surya has had the best tournament. There has been some good innings. I think probably the one right towards the beginning of the tournament against the USA. It seems like it was such a long time ago that India played the USA, right? How come it's that in this tournament?
Mm.
So yeah, I think Abhishek will want to prove a point today. Eh? He'll want to get a big one because he hasn't been in the best of form. So yeah, New Zealand's best chance is getting early wickets. It's exactly what worked for them in the semi-finals. Because if India get off to a rollicking start in the power play, I think it's probably going to be game over for them from there on.
It would have been quite fascinating what would have happened had West Indies beaten South Africa. Then it would have been interesting for the permutations of that whole net run rate situation. Who would have gone through? It might have actually been maybe SA and West Indies, because you wouldn't expect SA to lose to Zimbabwe, because SA would have been so motivated to go through. And I think the net run rate was quite solid, I think, at that time, if you know what I mean.
I agree with you, but I think we saw some holes in the Windies this tournament.
Mm.
I mean, although the batting has been superb, let's be honest, sir, I think their seam bowling has been pretty weak. That's the one department that has really let the Windies down in this
Hmm.
tournament. The seam bowling really
Mm.
wasn't up to scratch in this tournament. The likes of Ford, the likes of
Hmm.
I think it's a double-edged sword with them because they played a lot of all-rounders, right? And they expected their all-rounders to bowl those really important overs. And I don't think they've done really well. They just didn't go in with out and out, good T20 seamers.
Mm.
Michael Ford and Shamar Joseph were really disappointing. Joseph, I think, I'm not sure if he's the type of bowler for this format. I still have question marks against Joseph for this format. I think he's a brilliant test bowler.
Mm.
Jaden Seals, I mean, we didn't see a lot of him.
Hmm.
So I think the Windies seam bowling is the one department that kind of let them down compared to other teams this tournament that had really good seam attacks like SA and India as well. So that is the department that kind of let them down.
I think,
But I mean,
yeah,
today is the final. What's been your highlights of the World Cup so far? For me,
yeah.
I would think the rise of Zimbabwe has probably been one of the highlights of
That's
this
true,
World Cup.
actually. You're right.
What do you think?
No, that's right. That's true. I agree. The highlights was seeing Australia being kicked out of the tournament. That too by Sri Lanka and Zimbabwe. Always good to see Australia getting out of the tournament. Although I would have enjoyed England being out early, but they, I guess luck was on their side.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think the associate teams. I mean, I was fearing the worst for the associate teams in this
Hmm.
World Cup set, but I think that teams like Nepal and Italy really gave a good account of themselves. Eh? What do you think?
I liked Italy the most. Italy was so close to beating England. I was rooting for them. Imagine, I know that you were thinking I was being about outrageous when I was calling for Italy to beat England, but they were close.
We were predicting that game and we said Italy have no chance, but boy, oh boy, did Italy really give them a scare in that game? And I mean,
Hmm.
look, I'll be honest with you. I think England would have been out in this game. If Nepal just
Hmm.
used their head about that game. I mean, just give you 11 or 6 balls. They could have won that game quite easily. So, credit to England for holding their nerve there, but I think Nepal would have given them an absolute scare. So, I think the next tournament, these teams are going to be the teams to be watching out for. It.
I hope so. We do need uh
Mm.
we do need the lower nations to do well. In fact, I think I'm trying to remember. I think UV was feeling the World Cup was going to be a bit dead, but it only looked like that because the main team gone through. But if you looked at it, and the at least the smaller nations tried. It's not like they gave up without a fight.
Yeah, look, it's been a good World Cup. I mean, I won't lie. It's been a good World Cup. I mean, look, there were some fixtures that were probably. I think Oman was really disappointing in this World Cup. I
Mm-hmm.
expected a little bit more from Oman, especially playing in those conditions. I thought it might help them, but didn't really work out. UAE were a bit disappointing.
Yeah.
Afghanistan, I'll be honest with you, I think they were in a tough group. I got a
Hmm.
feeling if Afghanistan were in probably an easier group, they probably would have went through in this World Cup. They
Oh, which
probably
was
would
the
have went
easier?
through.
Oh, which group would you have said the easier one?
Um, I'll tell you what, I think Sri Lanka would have been a good place for Afghanistan. I think if they were in a group with Sri Lanka and Australia, I would have fancied Afghanistan to go through there.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
I really would have. I really would have fancied. I think those conditions would have definitely suited their kind of play.
Of
Yeah, but I
course.
mean, for me, the highlight of this tournament, I mean, SA had a good tournament, no doubt about it. I mean,
Yeah.
losing
That's
one
not.
game doesn't make you a bad team, right?
Mm. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
for me, I would say Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe's rise in this tournament has been superb. So that's been the
I
one
think.
highlight for me this tournament.
Yeah. Regarding Zimbabwe, my only crit against them was that they didn't apply themselves. Like, if I don't think they were doing their homework, because if they did their homework, they would have never bowled first. You're better off batting first and then trying to defend. Because especially after you lose to West Indies so bad, why would you do the same thing now against India? You're better off batting first, get rid of score. And India needed to do all the running, if you remember. So even if it meant that they were going to chase it, then so be it. To make them do all the work chasing. You don't like give them the chance to make up the runs and then defend. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm really not too sure what happened there, but probably they were looking at the Dew factor. But I don't think Dew played much of a
Uh,
role in that game, to be honest with you. So yeah, I agree with you. I think they could have batted first, probably made close to 180, 190, and then the pressure all on India after that. Eh?
yeah, well, they did that against
Pressure's on
us.
India in
Batted
that
first.
game.
Yeah, they batted first
Mm.
against us. They made us sweat a little, and then we won eventually. So it just shows what could have happened had they batted first. Not saying they would have gone through, but at least it would have been interesting.
I'll tell you what, right? If they kept playing in Sri Lanka at Super 8, they'd have been a
Hmm.
really really dangerous side in the games. Really
They
dangerous.
would.
They could have been one of those. I could have said they could have been one of those front runners to make the semifinals. If I'm being honest, because
Wow.
I'll be honest with you, I think the teams in that group weren't the best. They were very mercurial teams, but I don't think they played the best cricket. None of those teams. I mean, even England. England winning 3 out of 3, but they didn't play their best cricket in any of those games. So we didn't actually see England at their best in the World Cup. We did
Hmm.
potentially see them. Uh, you know, that was probably their best batting performance against India in the whole entire World Cup, and they ended up losing that game. So we didn't see the best
Yeah.
of England. So I think Zimbabwe would have been a shout for that semi-final if they played the Super 8 games in Sri Lanka. But I think that's the challenge for Zimbabwe going forward, sir. They're very good
Hmm.
on those slow and low wickets. I think they need to start adapting as well. I think that's the challenge for all teams. You've got to be able to adapt in all conditions going forward.
Yeah, I guess. But it's difficult in the Zimbabwe. They only play in cricket and their infrastructure is not the same, and their politics. So I'm more happy that they at least went through to the next round because not many gave them a hope. Remember, I called Australia to go through, and yet you weren't that convinced that you were right. So well done, Avi, on that.
Yeah, I wasn't very convinced with Australia because I mean the one thing that what didn't convince me about Australia was the
The lack of
injuries.
main.
They had so many injuries
Yeah,
going to the World Cup. Yeah,
that's true.
Cummins and Hazelwood. I mean, I'd like
Uh-huh.
to see how injured they really are now once the IPL starts.
I know. People are gonna. Yeah, I know. I know that. I don't think they take. I don't think they value T20 cricket seriously, especially the T20 World Cup. It's a bit odd for Australia. They normally, I think, mainly for Test matches and 50 over, they take more seriously. I think this T20 thing, that's more of a fun and games kind of thing for them. I think
You know,
that's why they prefer.
it's interesting. It's interesting you say that because I was chatting to a friend earlier, right?
Uh-huh.
And I mean, Australia do value 50 over cricket quite a lot. And he
Yeah,
said
yeah,
to
they
me,
do.
the way the game is going in the world at the moment, I think there's only
Uh-huh.
two formats that are probably going to survive, and that's going to be two T20 cricket and Test match cricket. I think 50 overs is a big risk of not surviving because if you look at 50 over cricket at the moment,
Hmm.
there's not a lot of spotlight on it, and not a lot of teams actually want to like. There's not a lot of money going into 50 over cricket at the moment. And if you look at the current generation, I mean, we obviously come from a different generation compared to the generation now. A lot of
Hmm.
this generation don't like 50 over cricket. Let's be honest.
Hmm. That's
Eight
true.
hours in front of a TV screen following 50 over cricket. It's a lot. It's a lot for people. So T20 is the format that makes money nowadays. So I thought it was a good point. I mean, I don't know where the future of 50 over cricket is after 2027. Let's be honest.
I think it's just World Cups and Champions Trophy. What they'll do, they'll probably do it like a soccer format and all that, whereby they have the people playing the friendlies and then they'll come to the World Cup or something like that. They do it like a soccer format.
I honestly, personally think they should just scrap the Champions Trophy. So let's be honest. I mean,
It's
that
quite popular.
that was that's.
It makes money though for ICC, so they won't scrap it.
I don't think so. Honestly, I don't think so. I think the last tournament wasn't really much of a financial
Oh,
gain for the ICC. I'll be honest with you. It wasn't.
yeah,
I think
maybe,
the
yeah.
T20 World Cups do make money for the ICC.
Oh, that's in
And
India. That's
yeah, the 50 over World Cup will always make money because it's a marquee game. I don't
ah,
think the Champions Trophy should. I think it should be discontinued. That's my opinion.
okay, interesting.
Because let's be honest,
Uh-huh.
we had an 8 year gap until the next Champions Trophy. That was very interesting for me. You have an
Hmm.
8 year gap between the tournament. That was
Hmm.
that was that was quite interesting. That's where I thought the Champions Trophy is not going to exist for
Hmm.
very long. So I don't think it makes a lot of money if you think about it. I mean, if you look at last year's edition as well. I mean, with all the traveling controversies and stuff, where India were stationed in Dubai and every other team had to travel and so and so, and
Hmm.
there's so much of things happening there.
Hmm.
I think in a way it overshadowed the tournament in a way. I don't think it kind of made that much money because there was only 8 teams compared to 20 teams in this World Cup. So
Yeah,
my opinion,
that's
I think they should just scrap it.
okay.
Just scrap it.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Bangladesh has kind of been given a tournament after that whole negotiation thing that happened with Pakistan, if you remember. Where Pakistan got Bangladesh a tournament, and what else did they get them? Oh yeah, that they can't be sanctioned and all that, and that they'll get their tournament prize, participating fee, whatever it's called. So I think Bangladesh will probably host one, and I think that's it. Question is, will India now travel to Bangladesh after what Bangladesh did to India? Not coming there. But we'll discuss that as soon as that situation happens. But I won't be surprised if India teach them a lesson and don't go there.
Would a tournament survive without India? I'm not sure.
No, I think what will happen, we'll have another Pakistan situation whereby they might have the rest of the matches in Dubai. That's probably what will happen. Or maybe Bangladesh will just kiss India's ass and they'll get India to come eventually. They'll do a lot of apologies, a lot of bending and all that stuff. Which I mean, they kind of asked for it. They shouldn't have been so difficult. A lot of diplomacy would have been the best option in that situation, not be difficult with the whole traveling and all that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, South Asia is not a happy place at the moment. Eh? There's a lot of conflict between so many countries. There. Not a happy place at the moment.
Yeah,
I mean, just
yeah.
imagine if all those countries actually,
Hmm.
you know, look after each other and had good relations. That would be a real force uh, in the
That
game,
is
eh?
true. I would
That region would be a real force in the game.
I agree. But okay, so before we wrap off, I will say India to win, but don't discount New Zealand. They globally was nothing to lose.
They would need a performance of their life to beat India. So I would
Mm-hmm.
say 70-30 in India's favor.
70-30, okay. Anything to say before we wrap off, buddy?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a good tournament. I really enjoyed it. I was hoping that SA were going to play this game, but unfortunately, it's cricket, and T20 cricket, anything is possible on the day. So,
Mhm.
I still think it's been a great tournament, man. Yeah,
Yeah, of course.
Zimbabwe for me has been the highlight.
Of course. I mean, the only blip we had was against Afghanistan. Of course, I find we beat them, but we had like to do two super overs, which was so bizarre, but that's fine. I mean, at least we had that little challenge, then we got better, and then yeah, that's it. Okay, I will check you next week,
Yeah,
buddy.
sure, man. Okay, cheers, mate. Cheers. Very good.